So, good evening, everyone. You're watching UFP Film Club's Film Talk End of Year Show special with yours truly, Martin, founder and creative director of UFP Film Club. Joining me today in this show that gives you, the fans, our take on all things film news, film gossip, and everything film will be four wonderful individuals, volunteers, advocates, beneficiaries of UFP Film Club. We've got the lovely, the wonderful, the great Anthi G, who is pretty much a renowned fashion designer. She's actually, I say the former host, but she's still the active host of Friday Film Talk. Also, of our contributors today is the tumultuous, the Veracruz in red for whatever reason. I don't know why he's in red today, but Justin King, who's also actually a videographer and an editor and a film connoisseur in his own right. Isn't that right, Justin King?
Yeah, pretty much spot on there.
Thank you very much, Justin King, for your enthusiasm. And then finally, we have Panton, the one, the only Mr. Panton Hall. Pretty much been an advocate, a key volunteer and ally of UFP Film Club since day dot. He's actually a videographer, and he is can I say an animator modeler? If that's right, Panton. You create models, sculptures.
Yeah, yes, yeah. I'm a model maker, I draw, edits, and argue. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're what we call a man of all trades. But as I said, so these are the contributors, and they're here to help me deliver this end of year show to you. So we are gonna get right into it. But you're probably thinking, well, it's an end of year special. What does that mean? What is UFP Film all about? Film Club. Well, first and foremost, we spotlight and promote, showcase good quality independent film. More so ones that don't have mainstream access or have wide theatrical releases. So we enable audiences both in London, because we do screens in London and in Bedford Film Night, by the way, to enable those audiences to watch those said films. So we, as a collective, as I said, run a community cinema, which is not for profit, volunteer led by volunteers. And without the volunteers, this doesn't happen. The topics that we're going to look at specifically for this film talk end of year special will be industry developments and trends of the year to 2025. We're going to look at our best and worst films of 2025. I'll be keen to hear what the most anticipated films are from our contributors today. And then, as I said, we'll end the evening by looking at some of the highs and lows of UFP Film Club this year. So let's talk about some of the key talking points in the year. As I said, I call this topic area industry developments and key trends of the year. So one of the big ones we have to talk about, it's been in news for the best part of 4 or 5 weeks, and something that Justin King brought to my attention as well at the start of the news break, the Warner Brothers Netflix Paramount Skydance merger acquisition, whatever you're going to talk. It's just it's not even about Hollywood news. This is just news. So I'm going to quickly pass on to Justin so that you can maybe give us your quick thoughts on the overall saga, Justin, and then I'm going to ask Anthony and Panton for their thoughts, and then we'll move on to the next point.
Well, it just looks like Netflix wants to take over. They want to become a monopoly, don't they?
Is that allowed?
Of course it is. If they're bidding with an amount that Warner Brothers want to accept, then fair play.
What type of big business are we talking about now, Panton? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't think it really matters.
It doesn't matter.
No.
What do you have? Do you want to give to me, Panton? I think you've been full company 6 billion.
What are they actually buying? So are they buying the rights to loads of films and loads of TV series, or what? Because people are still going to write, people are still going to make stuff, even if they're on their like phones or on their little camcorders now. It doesn't really matter, you know. And you know what? I'd be quite good if they buy it and then they fail, like the old studios in like 50s and 60s, start all over again. I think it's going to be a cracking time. I think they deserve to fail.
Okay, that's an interesting point of view. I mean, Anthony, is that something that you share as well? Would you be happy for Warner Brothers Discovery to be part of the Netflix library? You get to see DC films on the platform. You get to see Harry Potter, things like Game of Thrones, potentially. Basically, all the HBO content allegedly will go on Netflix. And also Ted Sarandos, the CEO, has actually come out and said, again, it's not me saying this, he come out and said this, that theatrical will remain. So to your point, Justin, with regards to cinema will suffer, we don't know that. We know he's not a big advocate for cinema. That's why Netflix don't really release anything in the cinema. But apparently the theatrical division will remain. But yeah, Andrew, what's your thoughts on it?
Films, okay, they will still be made, let's say, even if it's Warner Bros. Netflix. But would it give job to new people, like to new films, give opportunity? They not have worked before in the industry. right? And won't enter the industry. So now it's going to make it more difficult. I knew Warner Bros. Here in London, where they have the Harry Potter studios. Most of the people who work in the Harry Potter studios are either actors or want to enter the film industry. And if they are good and they are kept, they can also, if they are not in the Harry Potter studios, sometimes they go work in a production. Either, even if it's as runners, but they get their foot into the industry. If any other company, not Warner Bros., whoever acquires them, would they continue that thread? Would they give opportunity to the younger kids that they go and do the Harry Potter tours as a stepping stone, let's say, to go further into the film industry?
I don't think it really matters, Anthi. You know, some of those companies are so big, they don't know what they're actually making. And most of those people are accountants or lawyers. They don't know anything much creative, especially at a very basic, no budget kind of level. So I'm kind of not that bothered about it. I've got a choice. I can either go to the cinema or sit at home and watch TV. I don't really care who owns it as long as when I turn it on, I'm entertained.
What I'm kind of worried about though is this, this theatrical release. So Netflix could say that there's a theatrical release, but what have they been doing with their last Netflix films that they've been releasing?
They haven't released them in the cinemas.
Well, any film that they have released, how long have they been out for?
Not long. Knives Out is probably the best example. I think Knives Out, maybe not even the last one, the first two prior, about a week or two max, and then it disappeared. It's select cinemas.
Cinemas, how much money do they make in the first 2 weeks of a film being released?
Well, are you talking generally speaking, like in the mainstream cinema or independent cinema?
Yeah, because they make nothing. They only start making money after 2 weeks. No, but that's the fact. So if Netflix want to come out and say we're going to release films still, what are they going to do? They're going to release them for 2 weeks. Cinema's going to make no money. That's why I'm saying that it might be a bad thing.
So that's from a cinema perspective. But what about, again, to Panton's point about new works creation films? So what about from a filmmaker?
They just make redundancies, won't they? They make redundancies and say you're gonna have to come back and apply for the job. It's going to be a different role.
And then the final, what about consumers? I mean, I haven't heard anyone talk about choice in terms of film choice, TV shows choice, even series. Like how cost of the prices. What's that, Panton?
There's loads of choice. We've always got choice, right from films when they're made back in the 1900s till now. But hey, you've still got loads of this choices out there.
All right, let's move on to the next item under this industry developments and trends. Because another key thing, and Panton, you know, me and you've had a back and forth about this all year, and as well as me and Justin for different reasons. And Anthi, you know what I'm going to say next: the rise of AI. So I'm going to start with Anthi first, because I know what the thoughts are of Justin, that the fans and the audience don't know, and I also know what the thoughts are of Panton, which we'll share shortly. But Anthi, what's your initial thoughts of the rise of AI in film? Like, just generally, what is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What will it actually enhance film and cinema, or do you think it will be the terminator of the industry and that kind of make us regress, go backwards?
I think in general, no matter what sector it is, we need to use it with cautiousness.
Cautiousness, okay.
All right.
Can you elaborate? Why is that?
In haste stuff, but it can take over everything we do, because whatever we do when we use AI, it is kept and it's going to be kept forever. Your image, your voice, I don't know, anything. So we need to be cautious. Like, we use AI in the fashion industry. We used AI and made a whole film. I think there is a whole film made just with AI. And you could see like made up trailers from people who might not have anything to do, and they're not even in the cinema industry in any capacity as filmmakers, actors, whatever. And they can think, and okay, I'll go to ChatGPT and it's like, create me a video with, I don't know, Zorro fighting Kung Fu Panda, and it's going to give it to them. I know I'm saying something silly. I don't know what to say, but it's going to happen, and they can make a whole series out of it. And then there are people who consume in any platform, the very short content that will find that funny or will find that relaxing because, their brain don't have to think. They just watch something and it is fine for the little 3-4 minutes they watch something and that's it. And suddenly you have a creator who doesn't know what he has done, but it hasn't given jobs to people who are actually creative.
That's a fair point. So you kind of give us a round of view as to the whole the importance and the non-importance of AI. Hence why you're saying being cautious. But I would like to ask for Justin's take, because I'll be honest with you, Justin actually introduced me to AI when I say film, in terms of content. So he's been on this thing for I'll say about three years, right, Justin? Like the first person to actually teach me about ChatGPT was you. I've actively been using it this year. It's taken a while, hasn't it, Justin? Because you've been on my case about it. And I know you've been looking at other AI tools as well. But I would like to ask your thoughts on the rise of AI in film in general, and what do you think the future holds for it, maybe?
I think the issue lies where they think we're going to see like human emotion from AI. I mean, maybe
the way he was alluding to, yes?
Yeah,
maybe jobs and stuff like that. Okay.
No, like kind of, when we go to the cinema, not nowadays, because is there really a movie star? Maybe Tom Cruise is the last one. So if we went to the cinema to go watch Tom Cruise, AI wise, need to have something like that, an actual star. If they want this Tilly Norwood to be like,
that's about to talk about. You literally stole my thunder there, but thank you very much.
They want her to be the star. I don't know if it's going to work, because how is she going to evoke like emotions? How does she know what an audience wants? How does she know how to deliver lines in a script?
Can I tell you how? They call it lack of new businesses. We call it early boomers, I think is a term, or something along those lines. Whenever you've got an early adopter, it takes time for the market to saturate and then level out, if that makes sense. So you're right, maybe the Tilly Norwood won't be the one that makes us go, wow, she is the star. It might be the Tilly Norwood 3.0, a bit like Megan, which I'll talk about later on. Because you hit the nail on the head there when you said that. Because obviously Tilly Norwood, the fact that you got an AI created piece of whatever character, or this simuli, this avatar, getting signed up by a major Hollywood agency, that makes no sense. I don't understand where it's going down, Justin. I mean, you might need to shed light on that.
Hollywood are trying. If they can get away with it, they will. And also, I mean, if you can tell a good story with AI, then why not do it?
And why not?
What's the problem?
See, so Santos nodding his head. Panton, what's your thoughts on that?
Like just said, someone's going to do it. There's some kid or some person who's going to take it really, really. Someone's going to make a little film. It's Colin Firth fighting Barack Obama. It's Kung Fu Panda. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. And Colin Firth is playing part of Gandhi. Someone's going to do a little mashup like that, which is kind of whatever. But at some point, someone's going to take it very, very seriously. Like Justin says, someone's going to sit down and develop some AI characters with an interesting story, and there's going to be a point where it's going to be put up for an Oscar.
Really? So we're good. So I see, Justin, you're nodding. Are you in agreement?
Yeah.
So it's
going
to happen.
It's all it takes. Sorry, all it takes is someone to go, you know what? Let's kick out all the fluff and all the little TikToky AI things, and let me sit down and make a serious film with these characters, all AI generated. Tell a serious story like Dr. Zhivago or Titanic or something like that. Let me do it, and someone's going to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
In our lifetime, yeah, actually, yeah.
And like with Tron back in the 80s, where it wasn't nominated because of the effects, and now it was using effects all the time yet. So now it's going to be a bit like that. And so some kid is going to do it. And they're going to write a cracking film, a bit like Nuts in May or anything like that. Howard's End or whatever it is. And it's going to be all AI generated with that emotion and that content and everything else.
But let's move on to the next topic. And the topic is one of interest. And it's basically going to be the best films of the year. So my 3 films, in no particular order: F1, starring Brad Pitt; Nosferatu, which is Robert Eggers, the one that was released in January. Imagine, this film was released in January, and it's one of my favorite films of the year. And probably my favorite film of the year, by the way, Sinners. So that's my three. Yeah. And then my favorite independent / streaming film, and this was a close one, it's actually Relay with Riz Ahmed, plug for Amazon Prime because it's currently available to watch on Amazon Prime. But Relay was fantastic. So those are my 4 films.
I'm gonna agree with you with Sinners. What other film did I enjoy? One Battle After Another was
Fantastic.
was really really good. Chase Infinity was quality. I think that was the first film she's ever starred in.
Really? And is that Leonardo DiCaprio's who played Leonardo DiCaprio's daughter? Oh, so
Yeah, yeah.
fantastic. They're all fantastic. Regina Hall are fantastic.
So I think Sean Penn will probably get
Fantastic.
in the Oscars, even though I want Delroy Lindo to win. It's gonna be Sean Penn, who was
It's between them two, isn't it? For best supporting. I think you're right.
number 3. I'd have to slap The Long Walk in there, even though I mean, did it have mainstream appeal?
It did. It did have mainstream appeal. It's based on a very popular novel. Got a wide release from Lionsgate. Actually did okay in the box office considering the amount of screens. Are we talking UK? Did it do too bad in UK?
No, how much did it make?
I can't remember from memory how much it made, but it did okay.
It was like 50 million, something like that.
Is that worldwide, Ghost?
I think so. It was like a little bit over 50. I should have already done my research beforehand.
Anthony, Panton, have you both seen A Long Walk?
No,
It's a recommendation. It's quite sad. It's quite sad.
and it's Stephen King. For me, can you hear me okay, first of all?
Yeah, you can. You're back.
Yeah,
Live.
no, massive long story short, I've been really disappointed with the cinema, and there's not a lot that's literally dragged me out to go and see anything major. There's nothing which I've really been interested in. I mean, I think I'll go see Avatar this weekend. I went to go and see Mission Impossible when that came out. Needs cutting, and didn't bother seeing Wicked, and I've just not been excited. I've just not been excited. I think the best thing that I saw was probably TV series Andor on Disney, and beyond that, I think it's been a lot. I mean, even Running Man didn't do very well. So it's been pretty lackluster. I've not been impressed.
Okay. Well, you're kind of talking about the worst films, which we'll get to in a sec. Anthony, what about you? What were the 3 films in the cinema? Would you say?
Listen, I didn't watch 3. I would talk about Sinners as he did, but
Yeah.
I think taking from Justin saying that it didn't do well in Europe, I think it didn't do well in Europe because it's all American about American folklore, especially in Mississippi. And a second thing, it has religious undertones, and things that they have religious undertones in general are not attracting people that much. Tell me, how many people know about independent companies like Angel who did the whole Chosen series? Not many
Not many.
people. So I think people are not going to see something that they think, oh, they might talk about religion. It doesn't matter what type of religion. It could be from any country. It could be Buddhism. It could be Christianity. Okay. I think people don't like to have such heavy topics, but they watch something. And that's why it got passed as a vampire movie. Whilst I think it had more religious undertones than just a vampire movie.
Okay. So what were the 3 films though? Because I'm hearing a lot of chat on Shinners.
Tell you from the beginning, not 3 films. Dune is a nice film, and okay, I wanted to go and watch also, as we said, Wicked, but I believe Wicked is better in the theaters than it would be on the screen. Yes, it might have fantastic costumes, fantastic sound as a film, but I believe Wicked is for the theaters.
What I'm getting from all of you, including Justin King, is you're being greatly disappointed by cinema this year. So I'm going to go straight to it. What's the worst films? Still the same criteria in mind. What's the worst films of the year? So I'll just give you my 3, and I'm going to keep it free so you understand structure and format. My 3 are Snow White. And we spoke about Snow White. Snow White's one of my worst films of the year. Caught Stealing. Have you heard of Caught Stealing? Ben Butler.
be honest with you.
Yeah. Horse Stealing. Watched it, very disappointed by it. Did not hit as much as I thought. And then the final one, Megan 2.0.
What the worst film for streaming? The Hand
Yes.
of Rocks, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yes, that's a good example. That's a good example. The original's fantastic. Fantastic.
Also, I've heard
Remake it. Why would you even call it the same?
So this is what Panton's been saying for years, for as long as I've known him, and this is why Panton will agree with you. But that's my point. I thought Snow White was akin, not as bad as that, but was akin to that. And you're going to say, Justin, you don't agree with that. Fair enough. But the Hand That Rocks the Cradle, the remake, I'm confused by what was going on there. You're right.
If I go with a child, let it be my niece, okay? Because personally, I don't have children, or let's say any of your kids, and they ask me, "Oh, that's the story." What can I answer them? Nothing bad, because for Snow White, there is nothing I can tell them. No, that's not the story, and suddenly you tell them a totally different thing, and they will be confused, especially smaller kids. Okay, kind of teenagers, they have brains to work. All right, but smaller kids will be really, really confused. It's like, then why do we see that in our dreams? If it's not,
What about other films that you didn't like watching this year? What were the three worst films or films you did not like?
I think I got put off from Snow White, obviously, from the comments of the main actress. All right, so it kind of put me off from initially going
Yeah.
to see something, and then I am a person that I don't like violence. Like, so I wouldn't go watch violent films. Yes, I want to watch Sinners. You could call it violent or okay horror, but I was more interested because I knew it was based on folklore, and
Yeah.
that's different than just okay. I'm making a violent film. People like to kill each other. Let's say.
Fair enough. So, what were there specific films that you just did not like this year? As in, because you've mentioned Snow White, Reasons there. Obviously, Sinners. You don't like violent films, but you mentioned you
Yeah.
enjoy Sinners.
I
Oh,
Dune one was perfect. Going to make the rest of the Dune films, it takes away from the initial story.
okay.
For me, like you overrun it, like they did with Mad Max. You know, when they created all the versions of Mad Max. Yes, it is nice to see that type of underground system, that type of worlds. The same thing with Dune, but when you overrun it, you're making it tiring for people.
Yeah. Now I don't know whether each and every single one of you have a specific film you're looking forward to next year, or is it a case of when I was thinking about this topic, films that will ideally should do well at the box office. The Odyssey is one. Christopher Nolan. Looking forward to that film. And I will be watching that in IMAX. 100%. When it comes out in June or July, I think it comes out, doesn't it? And then you've got an interesting one in approximately a year from the 18th of December. So in about 11 and a half months from today, we're going to have Barbenheimer Part 2. Why? Because as it stands, Avengers Doomsday and June Part 3 are being released on the same day. Cinema needs this. We need two iconic, huge films to come out on the same day. Those are two films I am looking forward to. So, Justin, what three films are you looking forward to? What are the most anticipated films or films that you just think will do well in the box office next year?
Super Mario Galaxy movie. I think that one's going to a lot of money. I'm looking forward personally to Scary Movie 6, Street Fighter, Masters of the Universe, the new Spider-Man, Brand New Day film.
I'm looking forward to the MCU universe films because I'm a sucker for superheroes. Captain America is my favorite one. I even have an old figurine of him from the 1960s, a toy, a vintage toy. But I would love to see Odyssey because obviously, I'm Greek. And I would love to see, because Christopher Nolan is an amazing person in the film industry. I would love to see his version of Greek mythology.
So listen, let's bring it to a close because it's gone way past the allocated time. What I'd like to know is rather than us going individually, if you can give me one high or low for UFP Film Club for you. So one particular highlight or non-highlight for UFP Film Club. I'll go last. So I'd like to start with Anthi. What would you say is a highlight or not a highlight? And to be honest, I know I'm the founder, creative director. I'm not going to crack a whip.
Okay.
So what is it? What have you enjoyed or not enjoyed this year?
The highlight for this year was actually being on the Christmas Film Club with you in Bedford.
The Bedford Film Night Special, the festive edition.
Those people you have there, viewers coming to the film club, they are all very nice, people, very welcoming. It felt different from London, right? I'm not saying that our London venue, the people there are also very welcoming.
It's a different
But-
vibe, isn't it?
It's a different vibe, exactly. It's a very different vibe. You feel like you're going to the movies with family, even if you don't know the people in Bedford.
Yeah, it's a definition of community cinema. It's a different type of community. I think you're right. So for me, it was actually we were winning. We're basically award winners now, aren't we? We won the award for our Bedford Film Night marketing and promotion.
Did you fund that?
Sorry, Panton. I was talking about one of my highlights at the 55th annual Film Society of the Year Awards, which were held in Sheffield in September. That was a particular highlight. Sharing that with both the audiences in both London and Bedford was nice because obviously not only did we receive a standing ovation, but it was thanks to the efforts of the volunteers, the audience, partners, everyone's contributed. So I must thank you all. One of the big challenges for me, which has been one of our undoing as well for years, is the limited resources to deliver on our activity. This is something that I've touched on with Panton many a times, and also individually yourselves, Anthi and Justin. So for the audience, for you to know, for us to do what we do, rely on in-kind support of the volunteers. They don't get paid. They actually help out greatly in terms of their time and what they are able to contribute as well. Obviously, it's partly self-financed by myself, and we get grants, we get bursaries ad hoc, and we also rely on ticket sales, but that's not enough to keep doing what we do. So without your support, I'm not saying, you need to go and give us £1,000. I'm not saying that, but without audience, we don't exist really. So it's important to bring that home. So we got some massive plans for 2026. Hopefully we can continue with on the trajectory and the journey on the story that we are suggesting. But without further ado, I think that is it. I'd like to thank you all for watching this wonderful UFP Film Club Film Talk End of Year special. We look forward to seeing you all again in the new year. Have a safe and prosperous new year, wherever it is that you may be doing. And remember our motto: impactful stories, unforgettable experiences. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Martin. Anthi, thank you very much. Justin, thank you very much. And Panton, if he ever decides to show up again, thank you very much. Have a great year, everyone. We are out.